The Tata brand is arguably the most respected corporate brand in India. There is presence of Tatas everywhere, right from aviation sector to automobile sector, or to fast moving consumer goods. Everywhere there is presence of Tata Group. Tata Group is seen or perceived to be a socially responsible corporate in India also. So when Tata Group decided to take over Air India, sections across the society, Indian society, welcomed that. They thought that will, solve the whole issue of solve the trouble in Air India. There were many people who thought that it was a poetic justice because it was, J.R.D. Tata who founded Air India. I think that was in 1932. And so when after the government took over Air India and found it difficult to continue, to maintain the company, and when it was returned to Tata's, many people thought the cycle was completed. But when things actually turned out, it was not according to expectations. There was great expectation. Perhaps that was the why the disappointment is so high. But at the same time, the latest mishap or the accident in which an Air India plane, which was going from Ahmedabad to London, crashed after a couple of minutes after the takeoff. That shocked the entire country. India has not witnessed a catastrophe to this extent in the aviation sector in the recent past. Around more than 240 people, I think around 241 people died, all except one passenger on board died. Luckily, one person escaped. We don't know the real reasons of the accident. The investigations have already begun. When the results of the investigation come, I'm sure that will give us a proper answer. But unfortunately, I also want to tell that whenever an accident happens in the aviation sector, rarely truth comes out. Many times they find the truth, but they suppress the truth. I hope that won't happen here, because that will have an impact in the future of India's aviation industry. The truth is that India's aviation sector actually drives aviation industry's growth, global growth. Even I'm bold enough to tell that, the future of some of the Western aircraft manufacturers like Boeing or Airbus is dependent on the growth of India's aviation sector to a great extent. So let's go into the details of the accident, then how people are feeling about Tata Group's management of Air India. Are Tatas responsible for this catastrophe? So there are several questions being asked now. Many people have complained about various aspects of Air India company. There have been many complaints about amenities in the aircraft, then service of the way the personnel, the cabin crew provide service. Then there have been many incidents of complaints on the safety aspect also. So let's hope that it is not the fault of Tata's. And anyway, let's take a closer look into what happened and all those questions. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. Let me start with the litany of complaints that have been raised against Tatas of late. Those who raised complaints against the service or amenities in Air India included former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister and current cabinet minister in Narendra Modi cabinet, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. He once posted a tweet that he said when he sat on his seat, the armrest went down, and even the whole seat was collapsing. And he after he complained, he was moved to another seat. So he was actually surprised that it could happen in an airplane. You can imagine if that happened in some state transport corporation buses. Nowadays, even buses are maintained much better. I know that very well. Even private and state government owned buses in India are well maintained. So, if that is happening inside an airplane, it is shocking. One of my friends who booked a ticket from Mumbai to New York, from Mumbai to JFK Airport, New York, he said the condition inside the plane was pathetic. You need to remember that the flight was a long haul flight and it lasted 16 hours. He remembers the journey as a nightmare even now. So that is the situation. He said the bathroom, the lavatory doors were fixed with the help of sellotapes. Then hardboard was used to put air conditioner in place. So these are the type of allegations that are being raised against Air India. You are paying a good sum as your, airfare, and at least a minimum level of comfort you expect, especially in the long haul flights when you are supposed to sit more than half a day inside an aircraft. What are you supposed to do? There is no in-flight entertainment. There is no Wi-Fi connection with inside the aircraft. You need to remember that many airlines nowadays provide the minimum. Though the strength is low, they provide Wi-Fi services inside aircrafts. Many people complain that they don't get enough. They don't get liquor inside long haul flights. So it makes traveling boring. Then in 2024, there was a very serious complaint, and that too regarding safety aspect. And the Director General of Aviation in India fined Air India for that. In fact, Tata's operated or Air India operated a flight from India to Saudi Arabia without a properly trained pilot. A trainee pilot was, given charge of the flight, and a non-training captain was there. So that was the flight, and it was on that specific incident that Director General of Aviation slapped a fine of rupees 99 lakh on Air India. This is unpardonable. Even if the comforts or amenities are a bit on the negative side, you can still pardon. But if you compromise aviation safety, it should not be pardoned. I wonder why Air India management was let go with a fine of less than rupees 1 crore. And there have been many such incidents, of late. Just just after the Ahmedabad crash of Air India, a person put a post on X platform. He said he traveled by the same aircraft from Delhi to Ahmedabad, and inside the aircraft, actually, the air conditioners were not working. Then the entertainment facilities were not functioning, and even the switches or to call cabin crew in case of any emergency was not working. And he said people were actually suffering inside the aircraft. So there may be people who raise the doubt that it is true that amenities inside the aircraft might have been not up to the mark. But does that mean that the engines were not in condition? But but after the accident, many people are forced to think that it's not just the amenities. The management may not be undertaking maintenance, repair, and overhauls. So, who cleared the aircraft to take off? These are all very serious questions. You cannot ignore them. If you ignore them, it is at the peril of human lives. I have found that many people who are nationalistic and who are pro BJP, they are jumping onto the forefront to defend Tatas. But, you know, uh, I would like to tell one thing, that even the BJP is facing, uh, you know, uh, the effect of this. One in the recent Ahmedabad aircraft crash, Vijay Rupani, who was a former chief minister of uh, Gujarat, died. So these are all the outcomes of neglecting. I hope that the government will take all those complaints seriously. Air India management should also make an introspection. If they find it very difficult to, continue or, control the organization, why can't they offload some shares and bring in people who are experienced? I think the chairman of Air India, who is Mr. Natarajan Chandrasekharan, he has no experience in aviation industry field. He is a man who comes from software outsourcing field, software outsourcing, software services field. I think it is high time that Tata's made an honest introspection, and if they find that they cannot, continue to control the company, I'm sure that they need to sell off the shares. They should exit from the company and give the company to somebody who can handle, somebody from the aviation industry. I hope anyway the government will not treat this incident as a one-off incident and go ahead with a facetious attitude. Let's see what is going to happen in the coming days. Meet you with updates. Till then, goodbye.